I built this software from the ground up, my brother Nathan announced to the 3 Google executives seated across the conference table, his chest puffed with the confidence of a man who had never faced consequences for lying. 2 years of 18-hour days, coding until my fingers bled. This is my life's work. My parents beamed from their seats beside him, Dad's hand on Nathan's shoulder in that proud father gesture I'd never once received. But why did the lead executive, a sharp-eyed woman named Patricia Okonkwo, keep glancing at me in the corner, and why did her next words turn Nathan's triumph into ash? That's fascinating, Mr. Hartley, Patricia said, opening a folder thick with printed documents. Because our technical team conducted a comprehensive code analysis before this meeting. The version control history shows 47,283 commits over 26 months, and every single one originates from an account registered to Maya Hartley. She turned to face me directly. Ms. Hartley, we're prepared to offer $28 million for Cascade Analytics. But we need to negotiate with the actual developer. Is that you? The silence in the room was so complete I could hear my own heartbeat. Nathan's face went from triumphant to terrified in the span of 2 seconds. Maya is just she handles the technical implementation, he stammered. I'm the visionary, Mr. Hartley. Patricia's voice was ice. Every line of code, every algorithm, every architectural decision in this software was made by someone using your sister's credentials. Either she built it, or you've committed fraud by misrepresenting ownership to a potential acquirer. She paused. Which is it? I stood up from my corner chair and walked to the table. I built it, I said quietly. All of it. And I'd be happy to discuss the acquisition, with my attorney present. I'd been invisible in the Hartley family since birth. Nathan was the firstborn son, the golden child who could do no wrong. He'd inherited my father's charisma and my mother's ambition, combining them into a personality that commanded attention in every room he entered. By 12, he was winning debate competitions. By 16, he was student body president. By 22, he'd graduated from Stanford Business School with a network of connections that would serve him for life. I was 3 years younger and might as well have been a ghost. Where Nathan was charming, I was awkward. Where he commanded rooms, I preferred corners. Where he built relationships with effortless grace, I built software with obsessive precision. My parents never understood what I did. Maya's always on her computer was their standard explanation to relatives, delivered with the tone of resigned disappointment usually reserved for discussing addiction. They'd stopped asking about my work years ago, having decided it was too technical to comprehend and too unglamorous to celebrate. So when I started building Cascade Analytics, a revolutionary data processing platform that could analyze complex datasets 400% faster than existing solutions, I didn't bother telling them. I just built. Cascade took 26 months to develop. I coded before work, after work, on weekends, on holidays. I taught myself machine learning algorithms, distributed computing architectures, database optimization techniques. I read research papers at 2 a.m. and implemented their insights by 4 a.m. and went to my day job at 8 a.m. like nothing had happened. The software started as a solution to a problem I encountered at my corporate job, slow data processing that bottlenecked our entire analytics pipeline. My employer wasn't interested in innovation, so I built it on my own time, with my own resources, in my own apartment. By month 18, I had a working prototype. By month 22, I had something revolutionary. By month 26, I had technology that major tech companies would kill to acquire. The problem was, I had no idea how to sell it. Nathan found out about Cascade by accident. He stopped by my apartment to pick up a birthday gift for our mother, a task he delegated to me, as usual, and noticed the development environment on my laptop screen. What's this? A project I've been working on. Like a hobby thing? Like a data analytics platform that outperforms everything currently on the market. Nathan laughed. Sure it does. Can I see? I showed him. Explained the architecture. Demonstrated the speed improvements. Walked through the potential applications. His laughter stopped. Maya, he said slowly, this is actually impressive. Have you shown it to anyone? Just you. Why not? Because I don't know how to pitch it. I can build things, but I can't sell them. Nathan's eyes lit up with that predatory gleam I'd seen 1,000 times, the look he got when he spotted an opportunity. Let me help, he said. I have contacts. I know people at venture capital firms, tech companies, everywhere. I can get this in front of the right buyers. Why would you help me? You're my sister. Family helps family. I wanted to believe him. I wanted, for once, to matter to my brother, to have him see me as someone worth collaborating with instead of someone to overlook. So I said yes. The betrayal happened so gradually I didn't recognize it. Nathan started attending tech conferences, introducing himself as the creator of an innovative analytics platform. He scheduled meetings with potential investors and buyers, always positioning himself as the visionary founder. "You should come to this pitch meeting," he'd say. "But let me do the talking, I know how to handle these people." I attended the meetings. I answered technical questions when asked, which was rarely, because Nathan redirected conversations away from implementation details and toward market opportunity and revenue projections. Slowly, systematically, he erased me from my own creation. "My sister helps with the coding," he'd tell people. "She handles the technical stuff. I'm the one with the business vision. Maya's a great implementer," he'd explain. "But building a company requires more than just programming skills." The investors nodded. The executives smiled. Everyone accepted the narrative because Nathan delivered it with such confidence, and because no one questioned whether the charming business guy might be lying about the awkward woman in the corner. When Google reached out about a potential acquisition, Nathan was ecstatic. "This is it," he told me. "This is the big one. $30 million, maybe more. We should split it," I said. "You're handling the business side, I built the technology, obviously. We'll work out the details after the deal closes." Something in his tone made me uneasy. So I did something I'd never done before, I documented everything. The Git history was my insurance policy. Every version control commit, 47,283 of them over 26 months, was timestamped and attributed to my developer account. Every code change, every bug fix, every architectural decision was recorded in an immutable log that traced the software's entire development history. Nathan didn't understand version control. He didn't understand coding at all. His supposed contributions were limited to PowerPoint presentations and investor pitches. He had no idea that every claim of creation was contradicted by thousands of documented entries proving he'd never written a single line of code. I didn't mention this before the Google meeting. I wanted to see how far he'd take the lie. He took it all the way. "I built the software from the ground up." The words hung in the air as Patricia Okonkwo revealed the code analysis. My parents' proud expressions curdled into confusion. Nathan's confident posture collapsed into defensive stammering. The other Google executives exchanged glances that communicated volumes. "Ms. Hartley," Patricia said to me, "we've been in contact with your brother for 3 months under the assumption he was the primary developer. Our technical due diligence revealed otherwise. We apologize for any awkwardness this creates, but Google does not negotiate acquisitions based on fraudulent representations." "I understand. If you're the actual creator of Cascade Analytics, and you have proper documentation of ownership, we'd like to continue discussions with you directly." I pulled out the folder I'd brought. Patents filed in my name. Copyright registrations. The LLC formation documents showing me as sole owner. The complete version control history printed and notarized. "I have everything you need," I said. Nathan found his voice. "Maya, you can't do this. We had an agreement, we had nothing. You told people you built software you've never touched. You claimed credit for work you couldn't begin to comprehend. You brought our parents to watch your triumph without once mentioning that everything you were claiming was mine." I turned to my parents. "Did you know? Did you know he was lying about building it?" My mother's face went pale. "Nathan said you were helping him. Right." I laughed bitterly. "I have 26 months of 18-hour days documented in that version control history. Every algorithm, every function, every line of code, mine." Nathan's contribution was PowerPoint slides and lies. My father spoke for the first time. "Maya, this is a family matter. We shouldn't be airing a family matter? Dad, he tried to steal $28 million from me. In front of Google executives. Using a lie you apparently believed without question." I shook my head. This stopped being a family matter the moment he claimed my work as his. Patricia suggested we adjourn and reconvene without the family dynamics. The Google team left with my contact information and a commitment to continue discussions. My parents took Nathan to a corner for urgent whispered conversation. I gathered my documentation and headed for the door. "Maya, wait." Nathan caught my arm in the hallway. "We can still work this out. I'll admit I exaggerated my role, tell Google I was more on the business side, exaggerated." I pulled free of his grip. "You told them you built it. You told venture capitalists you built it. You've been telling people for months that you're the creator, the visionary, the genius behind Cascade. That's not exaggeration. That's fraud. I was trying to help. You don't know how to sell things, so help me sell it. Don't steal it. There's a difference." I wasn't stealing. "What were you going to do when the deal closed, Nathan? Were you really going to split $28 million with me? Or were you going to explain that the business side deserved more, that your connections made the deal possible, that I should be grateful for whatever percentage you decided to give me?" He didn't answer. That's what I thought. The acquisition closed 4 months later. Google paid $31 million for Cascade Analytics. I negotiated the deal myself, with an attorney who specialized in tech acquisitions and had no connection to my family. The final agreement included a 3-year retention package that would pay me an additional $4 million to continue developing the platform within Google's infrastructure. Nathan received nothing. I could have pursued legal action against him for fraud, but I decided it wasn't worth the energy. The truth had come out in the most public way possible, in front of executives who would certainly share the story throughout the tech industry. His reputation as a business development professional would forever be tainted by the meeting where Google revealed he'd been lying about building software. That was punishment enough. My parents tried to reconcile the situation. He made a mistake, my mother said during one of her many phone calls. He got carried away with the excitement. You know how Nathan is, I know exactly how Nathan is. He's someone who took credit for my work and tried to steal millions of dollars. That's not getting carried away. That's who he is. He's your brother. He's also a liar who was willing to erase me from my own creation. Those things can both be true. Can't you forgive him? For the family's sake? Forgiveness doesn't mean pretending it didn't happen, Mom. And it definitely doesn't mean giving him access to hurt me again. She cried. She always cried when I didn't bend to family pressure. I'd spent my whole life bending, accommodating, making myself small so Nathan could be large. No more. I love you, I told her. But I love myself enough to have boundaries now. Nathan crossed one. He doesn't get unlimited chances to cross more. The conversation with my father was worse. He'd always been Nathan's champion, always found ways to excuse his behavior and amplify his achievements. My accomplishments, academic honors, professional promotions, now a $31 million acquisition, had never once received the celebration he lavished on Nathan's far more modest successes. You should have handled this privately, he said. Now Nathan's reputation is damaged. People are talking. People are talking because Nathan lied. That's not my fault. You could have corrected the record quietly. Instead, you humiliated him in front of potential business partners. I didn't humiliate him. Google's code analysis humiliated him. His lie humiliated him. I just refused to cover for him. He's your brother, Maya. And I'm your daughter. Did you ever once consider how I felt, watching him claim my work? Watching you beam with pride at his achievement? Watching everyone celebrate him for something I built with my own hands? My father had no answer. You've never seen me, I continued. Not really. Nathan was always the star, and I was always the afterthought. But here's the thing, Dad, while you were busy not seeing me, I was busy becoming someone worth seeing. And now the whole world sees me, whether you do or not. I hung up and didn't call back. Google proved to be exactly what I'd hoped. The team respected my work, valued my expertise, and gave me resources to expand Cascade into something even more powerful. Within 18 months, the platform was processing data for a third of Google's internal analytics operations. Within 3 years, it had become industry-standard technology that companies paid millions to access. I received 2 promotions, led a team of 40 engineers, and was featured in technical publications as a pioneer in distributed data processing. The $31 million acquisition was just the beginning. My Google equity alone was worth more by the time the company's stock split twice. More importantly, I'd found a community that valued what I could build rather than how I presented it. Engineers who cared about elegant code and innovative algorithms, not charisma and networking. People who saw my awkwardness as a quirk rather than a flaw, my intensity as dedication rather than obsession. I'd found my people. My family had never been among them. Nathan reached out 2 years after the acquisition. His text was carefully crafted. Maya, I've done a lot of thinking. What I did was wrong. I'd like to apologize properly, in person, if you're willing. I agreed to meet him at a coffee shop, public, neutral, easy to leave. He looked diminished when he arrived. The confident swagger had faded. Whatever reputation damage I'd worried about overestimating had apparently been worse than I'd imagined. I lost 3 clients after the Google meeting, he said. Word got around that I'd tried to claim someone else's work. No one trusts me now. I'm sorry to hear that. Are you? I considered the question honestly. I'm sorry you're suffering. I'm not sorry the truth came out. You made choices. Choices have consequences. I know. That's what I wanted to say. I know what I did was wrong. Not just exaggerating, not just getting carried away. I tried to steal your life's work. I was willing to erase you completely to claim something I didn't build. Why? He was quiet for a long moment. Because you had something I didn't. Something real. I've spent my whole life being praised for potential, for charisma, for the things I might accomplish someday. But you actually built something. Created something from nothing. When I saw Cascade, I was jealous. And instead of dealing with that like an adult, I tried to take it from you. At least that's honest. I'm trying to be. Finally. He met my eyes. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I know I don't deserve it. I just wanted you to know that I understand what I did, and I'm sorry. I studied my brother, this man who had been my family's favorite, my parents' pride, the standard against which I'd always been measured and found lacking. He looked human now. Flawed. Diminished. I appreciate you saying that, I said finally. And I hope you find a way to build something of your own. Something that's actually yours. You think I can? I don't know. That's for you to figure out. The relationship with my parents eventually stabilized. Not reconciled, that would imply returning to what we'd had before, which had never been healthy. But we reached a new equilibrium. They attended my wedding, to a fellow Google engineer who understood code better than he understood small talk. They sent cards on holidays. We had polite conversations that avoided certain topics. They never fully acknowledged what Nathan had done. Never apologized for their role in his deception, for their decades of preferring him, for their blindness to my accomplishments. That acknowledgement would require admitting they'd been wrong about both their children, overestimating Nathan, underestimating me. Some admissions are too painful for parents to make. I've accepted that. I don't need their validation anymore. The $31 million proved I was capable. The career that followed proved I was valuable. The family I've built with my wife and our daughter proves I'm loved by people who actually see me. My daughter is 7 now. She's already showing signs of the quiet intensity that defined my childhood, preferring books to parties, building elaborate Lego structures rather than playing group games, asking questions that surprise adults with their depth. I watch my parents interact with her, and I see them making the same mistakes. Praising her loudest moments, overlooking her quiet achievements. Comparing her unfavorably to her more extroverted cousin. Grandma, I interrupted during a recent visit, Sophia just built a working gear mechanism from scratch. Did you see it? My mother glanced at the Lego construction. That's nice, honey. It's not nice, it's remarkable. She figured out interlocking gear ratios without anyone teaching her. That's advanced mechanical reasoning. Sophia looked up at me, surprised by the praise. You built something amazing, I told her. Never let anyone make you feel small for building things quietly. She smiled and went back to work. My mother looked uncomfortable. Good. Last month, I gave a keynote speech at a tech conference. The topic was Cascade Analytics and the future of distributed data processing. 3,000 people attended in person, with another 50,000 streaming online. Google had promoted my appearance heavily. I'd become one of their public-facing technical leaders, despite never losing my preference for corners over stages. During the Q&A, someone asked about the legendary acquisition story, how Google's code analysis had exposed an attempted theft. I don't think of it as legendary, I said. I think of it as a reminder. Build things that are verifiable. Document your work. Create evidence of your contributions. Because someday, someone may try to claim what you've created. The truth will protect you, but only if you've recorded it. The audience applauded. In the front row, my wife held up her phone, recording the moment. She'd tell Sophia about it later, about her mother standing on stage, claiming her work, being seen. That's the legacy I want to leave. Not the money, not the acquisition, not even the technology. The permission to be seen. The insistence on being credited. The refusal to be invisible anymore. He said he built it because he couldn't imagine I had. He took credit because he assumed no one would check. He brought our parents to witness his triumph because he never considered that triumph wasn't his. But 47,283 commits told a different story. Every line of code, every algorithm, every 18-hour day, documented, timestamped, undeniable. They wanted a visionary. They found a liar. And in the corner, quietly waiting, they found me. The actual builder. The real creator. The sister everyone overlooked who turned out to be worth $31 million. The code doesn't lie. Neither, eventually, did I.